morning, everybody. Happy Veterans Day. Now, Veterans Day is the one where we thank our veterans, whether or not they have passed, preferably thank the ones that are alive. And, think about the ones in your life or in your family that may no longer be with us, but veterans of war. Not to be confused with Memorial Day. I never say Happy Memorial Day. I just say, it's recognize that it's Memorial Day. But on Veterans Day, we want to thank a veteran. So, which I always like to think of my dad. I kept to distinguish between my dad and my father. My dad is the man that I grew up with. My father is the man who created me. My dad was a veteran of the Korean War. He was a field medic in the Korean War, and one of the few black field medics at the time. And so that's pretty interesting. Is he basically the guys who pulled people off the battlefield and took care of them until they got them to a MASH unit. So if you ever watched the show MASH, the guys who brought him in, those were the field medics. And that's what my dad did in the Korean War. And he never really talked about the experience that much, but he was proud to be a veteran of the United States Army. Anyway, and also both my uncles were in the military. One uncle was in the Air Force, one was in the Navy. So we had, between my dad and his two brothers, we had almost all the services covered. Anyway, there's everything comes at me so fast when I'm looking at all the news from the day. I was on Discord looking at some of the news there. I'm looking on my aggregator and I'm looking on Twitter, and holy smokes, there is a whole lot going on, just many layers. But the one that got me this morning, as I opened up my Twitter account, and it just pisses me off. And so we're going to talk about that one first. Excuse me. Ouch. Sorry. Even though I'm also going to make fun of a certain, I changed my description, a certain jet propulsion engineer and MSNBC host who made a funny yesterday. That's what's going to happen here early on the Morning Night Live after I play the intro. Play the intro, Johnny. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. Stop that music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I am your host, Marty, also known as PDawg Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is Hump Day, Wednesday, the 11th of November, 2020. And we still aren't sure who our president will be, although the media has already called it, so that means it's completely over, in spite of the lawsuits and everything else going on. Anyway, so let's talk about what I saw this morning first, and then we'll get to the rocket science. Oh wait, the rocket scientist. I'm sorry, the jet propulsion engineer. Actually, let me change my mind here. I should say good morning because you know me, I like to say good morning to everybody in the chat who's here. So let's just say first, Jonas Pedersen was here first. And yes, Jonas, you get the bell. Also, good morning to James PFP. They had quite a delightful conversation before we got here. Also, good morning, E. Michael. How you doing? Gunfox61. Howdy to you too. Select a boy. Yeah, boy. Also, good morning, Jesse Leon, Furry Kitten, Stabbing Joe Scarborough, who seemed to use his knives to cut out his first message, but that's okay. Good morning, says F. Joe Biden. Okay. Also, good morning, Donatello Slap-a-Fellow. Tyler F., who also retweeted the show. Thank you for doing that, as you always do. Good morning, Ricky Ravioli. Scotty Dubs. Let's see. I'm getting some repeat names. Okay. Lexi Mads. How you doing? Good morning, Lexi. Damn, my timing was spot on for once. Hey, there you go. See? it gets better every day, doesn't it? Also, good morning to Pincalo, the driving ape man. Nice to see you back. Renee Mayette, how you doing? Pissed off Shih Tzu. Oh my gosh. We have our first donation of the day. And, and by the way, good. Well, thank you. This is Kyle with the $2 donation through YouTube Super Chat, who says, hello, chat people and P-Dawg. Well, hello to you, too. This is Kyle. Nice to see you. Also, good morning to Zemgoa. Is that, if you could give me a phonetic spelling, that would be awesome. Good morning, Atheist Icon, Black Hebrew Israelite. Uh-oh, wait a minute. What the hell's going on here? Oh,
that's right.
I was looking for a T, and I spelled it das right, so I got to look under the D's.
That's right.
Anyway, also good morning, Nathan Payton, Robert Lapian, Kay Shull. Uh-oh, this thing skipped a little bit. There we go. I already said hi to Lexi. Good morning, Jackie Freudstein. That's a new name. I hope if you're new, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and click that little bell so that you get notifications. Also, good morning to You're a Ridiculous Lunatic. I'm not talking to you. Oh, Jackals Freudstein. I thought it said Jackie. I got to look a little closer. Man, my eyes are getting older and sometimes I can't read shit. Anyway, welcome to you, Jackals Freudstein, and also You're a Ridiculous Lunatic, who's been coming back quite often. I appreciate that. Good morning, Seamus Derby. And, I'm already at the bottom of the chat. We already have, oh my goodness, we got 41 people in chat. People are rolling in slowly. And I'm glad that all of you are here. I'm using my mysterious voice for some reason. I don't know why am I using my mysterious voice? Anyway, so here's what pissed me off on Twitter this morning. Many of you may know or heard of the Pennsylvania postal worker featured in a Project Veritas video that, good morning, Katie did skate, in a Project Veritas video, who alleged that one of his supervisors told people to backdate some ballots that were supposed to be collected by the 3rd of November. And they got some that came in the 4th of November, and he supposedly had them backdate some postal ballots, right? Project Veritas dang affidavit to the Senate whatever committee. Oh, good morning, Gamer Valine. Good morning, Willie. How you doing? All right. Excuse me. So, now, apparently, the Washington Post wrote a story that said that he had recanted his claims. And now, this morning, as I go on to but then I used to watch on Project Veritas, and the guy made a video himself saying, no, I didn't recant. Everything I said is true. I didn't recant. So there's a little back and forth about whether or not this guy has recanted. But because it made it into the Washington Post, and then apparently someone on some Democratic committee decided that this guy has recanted, and now the Washington Post, Washington Examiner, and other outlets say it's been recanted. And so I get to this on Twitter. If you look on the right side here where it says top story on the What's Happening tab. The What's Happening tab is kind of an extension of the Democrat propaganda networks. But anyway, Pennsylvania postal worker recants allegations of ballot tampering. Washington Post, Washington Examiner, and the New York Times report. Now, so I'm going to click on this right now, and here we go. It says right here, Pennsylvania postal worker recants allegations of ballot tampering, Washington, blah, 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 blah. A postal worker from Pennsylvania has signed an affidavit withdrawing allegations that he'd witnessed mail-in ballot tampering in Erie, multiple outlets are reporting. Now, the fact that those multiple outlets are reporting means nothing. All that means is somebody reported it, and most likely the other two outlets are reporting what the other outlet is reporting. And that happens all the time with the Washington Post. The Washington Post will publish a story, And then CNN will do a story on stating the Washington Post is reporting this story. And then MSNBC will say the Washington Post is reporting this story. And then the New York Times will say, according to the Washington Post, this is the story. And then USA Today will say, we're telling the story because this is what the Washington Post reported. And then some other outlet, once 3 or 4 or maybe 5 of those outlets are reporting what the Washington Post has reported, they will say something like, Pennsylvania Postal Bureau recants allegations of ballot tampering, Washington Post, Washington Examiner, and New York Times reports. See what they do? Or multiple outlets report, like it says here. What's this again? It said it right in the set. A postal worker from Pennsylvania signed an affidavit withdrawing allegations that he witnessed the tampering in the area. Multiple outlets are reporting. So, good morning, Rod Line, by the way. Good morning. How are you? Simco, did you give me a phonetic spelling of that yet? Maybe you did, and I just didn't see it. I don't want to. I feel bad if I say your name wrong. Now, the funny thing about this story, though, is there's more. Now, there's Yamiche Alcindor, the NPR journalist, a PA postal worker who claims have been cited by top Republicans as potential evidence of widespread voter irregularities, admitted to U.S. Postal Service investigators that he fabricated the allegation. Now, wait a minute. I'll tell you what, let's read the Washington Post story, and then I'm going to tell you what this is the shot. The Washington Post story will be the shot, and then I have a chaser. Oh, crap, it's a freaking Washington Post. Let me fix this. Here's how I get around the Washington Post, in case you didn't know. In case you've never heard of this little trick. I gotta beat it. Damn it. Okay, I'll try it again. Hang on a second. I'm gonna get around the Washington Post here. Watch. There. Now, as soon as it pops up, you go there and you copy, and then you go to archive.vn and pop it in there. So we're gonna watch, and it was archived 15 hours ago. Yeah, they put this up yesterday, and Twitter has it as its top story. So here is the Washington Post story, and we're gonna go through it. Hello, Saint Fugi, how you doing? Postal worker admits fabricating allegations of ballot tampering, officials say. This is the shot. I got a chaser coming, though. A Pennsylvania postal worker whose claims have been cited by top Republicans as potential evidence of widespread voting irregularities admitted to U.S. Postal Service investigators that he fabricated the allegations, according to 3 officials briefed on the investigation and a statement from a House Congressional Committee. Now, notice, they do not have the direct person who investigated. 3 officials briefed on the investigation and a statement from a House Congressional Committee. Do they mention that it's just the Democrats on that committee who made the statement? Now, Richard Hopkins claimed that a postmaster in Erie, Pennsylvania, instructed postal workers to backdate ballots mailed after Election Day was cited by Senator Lindsey Graham in a letter to the Justice Department calling for a federal investigation. Attorney General William Barr subsequently authorized federal prosecutors to open probes into credible allegations of voter irregularities and fraud, a reversal of longstanding Justice Department policy. But on Monday, Hopkins, 32, told investigators from the U.S. Postal Service Office of Inspector General that the allegations were not true, and he signed an affidavit recanting his claims, according to officials who spoke on the condition of an anonymity, as usual, to describe the ongoing investigation. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee. Oh, wait a minute. A statement from a House Congressional Committee. Now, House Congressional Committee, the whole committee, or was it just Democrats on the House Oversight Committee tweeted late Tuesday that the whistleblower completely recanted. Keep those words in mind. Completely recanted. Good morning, Zombie Teddy. Hopkins did not respond to messages seeking comment. Didn't he? Are you sure about that? How did you message him? I'm just curious. Did you just put something on Twitter and hopefully he'd notice? They could have. Oh, I'm sure that this person's probably not all that hard to find for journalists who investigate shit. Let me continue. The reversal comes as Trump has refused to concede to President-elect Joe Biden. Oops. I'm sorry, I made a mistake there. Refused to concede to President-elect Joe Biden. Citing unproven allegations about widespread voter fraud and attempt to swing the results in his favor, Republicans held up Hopkins' claim as among the most credible because he signed an affidavit swearing that he overheard a supervisor instructing colleagues to backdate ballots mailed after November 3rd. The Trump campaign provided that affidavit to Graham, who in turn asked the Justice Department and the FBI to launch an investigation. The Trump campaign also cited reports of the allegation in a federal lawsuit filed Monday against Pennsylvania election officials that seeks to prevent them from certifying the state's election results. The Trump campaign, the Justice Department, and Graham did not immediately respond to requests for comments on Tuesday. Now, let me see. I'm not going to read the whole thing down here. Let's see if they have an update or if because this let's see here. Okay, first of all, the Erie postmaster called the allegations false, blah, blah, blah. Erie post office did not backdate any ballots, blah, blah, blah. Hopkins' allegations without his name were first aired last week by Project Veritas, and an organization that uses deceptive tactics to expose what it says is bias and corruption in the mainstream media. Deceptive tactics. Wow. That's an interesting way to phrase it. Oh, you mean undercover investigations like everyone in the news media uses? Not like you rigged some truck to blow up in a news report, or that maybe someone faked documents to try to tell lies about President Bush, or not like the director of the FBI made claims about weapons of mass destruction to get us into Iraq. But I digress. Hopkins agreed to attach his name to allegations late last week. He was instantly celebrated by Trump supporters. Okay. Project Veritas founder James O'Keefe on Saturday hailed Hopkins as an American hero on Twitter. A GoFundMe page created under Hopkins' name has raised more than $136,000 by Tuesday evening, with donors praising him as a patriot and a whistleblower. Your donations are going to help me in case I am wrongfully terminated from my job or I'm forced into resigning due to ostracization by my coworkers. The page states, it will help me get a new start in a place I feel safe and help me with child support until I am able to get settled and get a job. Separately, on Monday, Project Veritas announced it was offering a $25,000 reward for firsthand election fraud tips in Pennsylvania. Late Tuesday, O'Keefe claimed to have recordings of agents questioning Hopkins and said, this is what I want to see if they have an update, because there is an update to this story. I'm getting there. Claimed, what did he say? He said, O'Keefe claimed to have recordings of agents questioning Hopkins and said he was pressured to sign a document he did not understand. We're getting there. The Postal Service said in a statement over the weekend that it had referred Hopkins' allegations to the U.S. Postal Inspection Service and the Office of the Inspector General. The Postal Inspection Service declined to comment on Tuesday morning, referring questions to the Office of Inspector General. A spokeswoman for that office, Agapi Dulavrius, said it was still looking into the matter Tuesday afternoon and declined to elaborate. Hopkins was escorted out of his workplace Monday afternoon and told not to return until the investigation was completed, according to one of the officials familiar with the probe. And so on and so forth. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna take my break now. That was because I need to take care of this. Well, no. Hang on. Just an FYI. Good morning. Yes, I do have my cup of reparations coffee, and let's all take a sip now so I can get my throat in order. Okay, that should help a little bit. All right. So now that was the shot. Now here's the And by the way, just let me show you how many under this thing that Twitter puts on there. You know, they're featuring this as Pennsylvania postal worker recants allegations, And they got Yamiche Alcindor reporting it and then she clicks the Washington Post article, and then you got New York Times talking about how, because they got the story from the Washington Post, and then they went and they got the statement from congressional committees who probably sent out a press release, and then the Washington Times, breaking postal worker recants, ballot tampering claim, House oversight Democrats say. Now, notice. Now they're saying they're quoting the House Oversight Committee Democrats, right? Same thing here, Oversight Committee, where this is what they say. Here's the Oversight Committee. USPS IG investigators informed committee staff today that they interviewed Hopkins on Friday, but that Hopkins recanted his allegations. Sorry. Yesterday, they put that in all caps, yesterday, and did not explain why he signed a false affidavit. That's the first affidavit, I'm assuming. That false affidavit was election interference, part of a criminal enterprise. Every person connected to this crime by any means whatsoever should be facing RICO charges, according to someone named Joseph Roberts, who's the Global Strategy Citizen Climate Food Economic Commission interim director, founder, Geoverse, or whatever the fuck he is. Who cares? And then he pool linked O'Keefe, don't know why. And that's unavailable. I don't know why. And but here's the guy says he didn't recant. Let me guess. When asked if he had a recording of the alleged fraudulent activity, he said no because he didn't record it. So the Dems put words in his mouth that he didn't have any proof. So they're not even going to investigate what he said. Okay, that's interesting take. So let's give you the chaser here, though. Let's give the chaser. So I just happened to bookmark a couple things as I was going through Twitter yesterday, not even knowing that this would come in handy this morning. I thought about it. So, there is our first Streamlabs donation. Thank you, Mr. Rod Line. And Rod Line,
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Thank you very much. With the $2 on Streamlabs, they will only take these allegations of fraud seriously if they come from an undocumented, trans, disabled, non-binary, gender, queer, otherkin, or someone like Don Lemon. You mean someone like Don Lemon? Yes. And I think the audience likes that one. Yes, they do. Thank you. Thank you very much, Rod Line. Your donations are greatly appreciated. All of you. If you can't, that's cool too. But I still love you. All right. So here's what came in handy. So here's his. Now he put this on. Somebody put this on YouTube for him. I don't know how he got this on YouTube, but somebody uploaded this, and so here's what he said on YouTube. Okay, so here we go. Listen to this.
I am the postal employee who came out and whistle blew on the Erie, PA Postal Service, postal office. I am right at this very moment looking at a article written by Washington Post. Says that I fabricated the allegations of ballot tampering. I'm here to say that I did not recant my statements. That did not happen. That is not what happened. And you will find out tomorrow. And I would like that the Washington Post recant their wonderful little article that they decided to throw out there.
Wait, I thought the Washington Post.
I am the postal employee.
Okay, that's it. I won't play it again. I thought the Washington Post reached out to this guy. Okay, that's not even the whole chaser. Yeah, we had the shot, but the chaser is usually something a little more robust, like in a tall glass, right? Well, here's what. Now this is interesting. Now this is Jack Brzobiak. Breaking: Project Veritas releases video of federal agents intimidating USPS postal worker. So here we go. Hang on a second. Stop. Hang on. All right, here we go. This, well, at least completes part of the chaser. Now I haven't seen the whole thing. Maybe we'll check Project Veritas's site too. But here's part of that chaser. We got about 2 minutes, 18 seconds of it. Listen carefully to everything that happens in this little video.
They were grilling the hell out of me.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm kind of pissed. I feel like I just got played.
And I heard him say to the supervisor that they messed up yesterday. I was like, oh, what did they mess up on? And he told the supervisor that they had postmarked one of the ballots for the 4th instead of the 3rd, because they were supposed to put them for the 3rd.
Okay, now. Okay.
And so
listen to this. This is the United States Postal Service Office of the Inspector General, Representative Russell Strasser. This is how they interview this guy. Listen to the words, and here we go.
And so let me make good on that promise right away. Okay, this storm is getting crazy, right? And it's out of a lot of people's control. And so the reason they called me in is to try to harness that storm, try to reel it back in before it gets really crazy. Okay?
I understand.
Because we have senators involved, we have the Department of Justice involved, we have
Trump's lawyers team's gotten a hold of me.
I'm not. Well, I am actually. I am trying to twist you a little bit, because in that, believe it or not, your mind will kick in.
Okay.
We like to control our mind, and when we
this
do
guy's
that,
playing
we can
games,
convince ourselves of a memory. But when you're under a little bit of stress, which is what I'm doing to you purposely, your mind can be a little bit clearer. And we're going to do a different exercise too to make your mind a little bit clearer. Okay.
Good to go.
So this is all on purpose. Okay?
Roger.
I am not scaring you, but I am scaring you here.
It seems like they were trying to make me distrust y'all. And at the same time, it kind of affected, but at the same time, I was like, no, these guys have had my back since the get-go. So that's why I continued.
Do you think these federal agents have your back?
At this point, no, hell
Do you
no.
think these federal agents are really interested in investigating fraud?
No.
Honestly, I don't
Hell
think
no,
they
they're not.
And in fact, heard Weisenberg tell a supervisor they were backdating the ballots to make it appear they've been collected on November 3rd. You still stand by that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so fascinating. Now, I'm sure there's a whole bunch more going on. In fact, let's check Project Veritas here. See if they have it on there. You know what's funny? Now, a lot of times when you do searches on YouTube, wouldn't you think Project Veritas would be one of the most searched out things on YouTube right now? Notice when I put in the word project in a space, I still don't get Project Veritas as one of the top things. Look what they have: Project Power, Project Zorgo, Project Cars 3, Project K, Project Farm, Project Young, and Project Dreams Marshmallow, Project Supreme, Project Blue Beam, Pat Chicken Head, Baby, Pat. Okay, never mind. Let's put V. Let's put a V. Oh, and even when I put a V, Project Vane Voice Band, VI, VC, Voice Band. Do you think any of these, Project Venom V2, Veritas, way down here? All right, let's click here now. Let's see. All right, so their first two videos. One is, all right, I'm not going to, it's the same video, 2 minutes, 19 seconds. I'm going to put a link in the chat for this video. I'm not going to play it again.
They were grilling.
We just saw it. There's a copy and paste if you want to look at that one yourself. By the way, good morning. Someone stopped. Who dropped in? Check your logic. What's happening? Yes, we're going to get to the 538 in a minute. And good morning, Advocatus Diabli, the devil's advocate, and anyone else who's out there lurking. If you're driving or at work, I'm sure Mandy and Ronan are probably out there. Maybe Diesel Dave. 52 people in the chat, or 52 people watching. 19 likes. Hit the like button if you like what we do. All right. I'm going to move on. But anyway, that just, oh my gosh, just makes my head hurt seeing that now Twitter's promoting that. So it's going to be interesting now to see where that goes. They have recording of them. He protected himself by recording that interview. Good for him. And it'll be interesting to see how they got him to sign this second affidavit. It's oh boy, it's not good. But apparently the government isn't interested in hearing this guy. And now. So here's the problem too. Someone there, what did they say? Someone's, and this is true. They're putting him in jeopardy of criminal prosecution. It's going to be interesting, and look, I'm looking at that section of Twitter right now again. Not one thing here mentions the Veritas video or his video saying that he didn't recant. It's all news about postal worker recants. Well, he says he does not recant. He still stands by his statement, still stands by his original affidavit. There's video, and they don't mention that they have video of him talking to the inspector general. No updates on this, and they put this up as breaking news this morning from last night. Anyway, just that's how that crap goes. They're just so dirty, so dirty. All right, let me get myself. I need about 30 seconds to regroup. Enjoy my daily commercial, and I'll be right back. Hey everybody, it's me, Marty. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I hope you're enjoying the show. The Morning Night Live is sponsored by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please, if you have a moment, take time to share this stream by hitting that little arrow down below or up here if you're on a mobile. And please hit the like button. I know you like it, you're still here and you're still watching. And finally, if you want to support the show, you can do that through your donations and super chats, which are in the description down below. You can do that at Streamlabs link or at PDawgKnight.live. That every little bit helps. And thank you for watching. Now back to the show. All right, and I'm back. Hey, good morning, Trideos. Nice to see you. I just saw you pop in there, and I'm sure some others did too. Uncle Bad Touch. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Joe Biden. Uncle Bad Touch is in the chat. Nice to see you. Welcome back. All right, so let's talk about the funniest story from yesterday. And there's a website. There's a website out there that I don't know if it's run by Nate Silver, but he is a prominent person on this website and this polling firm called 538. 538, yes, 538. Now, somebody on a major news network yesterday made a funny regarding 538. And her name is Joy Reid. I'm going to read to you what Joy Reid wrote. And then we're going to go. It's Shot Chaser Day. I got to tell you, since we don't really have Jussie Wednesdays anymore, although I'm kind of wondering what's going on with Jussie Smollett. But since we do not have a Jussie Wednesdays, today it's going to be Shot and Chaser Day. Shot and Chaser. Here is the shot. Joy Reid yesterday tweeted this. Here's the thing. The reason there's a thing called 538, the polling firm known as 538, see here it is, data-driven news and analysis from Nate Silver's 538. is because 538 was the margin in Florida when the Republican SCOTUS reversed the 2000 election during a recount, making W the president. That's the kind of margins where races can flip. That's not what's up now. Now, oh, I should continue. Oh, she just puts a list of the remaining votes. Okay, she's just going on about voter fraud and all this other shit. Okay, now, there's a whole lot of problems with this initial tweet in this thread that she wrote. I don't see anyone asking for a thread reader on this one, which is pretty funny. But and there's a lot of people cheering her on for this tweet. But let's just start here with the whole 538 thing. Well, first of all, let's just talk about the 2000 election. She clearly is revising history here because 537 was the margin in Florida that George W. Bush was ahead by in the 2000 election. Okay, when Al Gore had contested the election results in Florida, George W. Bush was always in the lead in Florida. Now the only what was reversed was the news media called Florida a little bit early, and then it turned out that at the end when they counted the votes, George W. Bush actually won Florida on first count. And then they went through a recount trying to, do a Frankening, if you know what I mean. By the way, that's my new copyrighted phrase, the Frankening of America. Anyway, so in the 2000 election, they were counting. George W. Bush was always in the lead during the counts. He was never trailing in the counts. And then the Supreme Court, they eventually stopped the counting because it was time for them to certify the votes. And we went on to win. And then we found out, because what happened, Al Gore was trying to get them just to recount 3 counties. And they're like, no, you can't just recount 3 counties, which would be in your favor. But anyway, by the way, and afterwards, there was some project down in Florida that, thank you for your kid, I'll get to that. There's some project down in Florida that actually went and recounted the votes the way Al Gore wanted them to count it. And it increased George Bush's lead. But that's not the problem that I'm talking about in this particular case. Really quick, thank you, Furry Kitten, for the $4.99 donation through Streamlabs. And
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
And Furry Kitten says, quote, "They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them." Fantastic. That's great. I'm assuming that is in reference to Veterans Day. I guess that's for the veterans that did not make it back. That's very nice. Thank you for a kid. I appreciate that and the donation. Also, good morning to MC. Nice to see you.
Hammer time.
I've missed you, brother. You've been gone a couple of days. That's okay. I've seen you other places. That's cool. And I'm glad to see you there. All right. So anyway, let's talk about the 538 again, though. No, 538 is not the reason that Nate Silver named his firm, his polling firm, 538. I never showed you the whole thing. So here's the tweet with Joy Reid. And then, like I said, she goes on. She's on a diatribe here about why the votes are, the margins are too big. Okay, but there's a whole kinds of reasons why. And they're not even done counting in Arizona. I don't even know. And that's not even accurate now anyway, as of today. It's down to 13,000. They're still counting about 80,000 ballots. I suppose eventually we'll get a number from Florida. And then also North Carolina still hasn't named theirs. The 45,000 in Pennsylvania, there's way more of that in dispute, FYI, regarding votes that came in after the deadline that they still counted, and also they changed the rules. So that's why there's a court case, because they changed the rules. The Supreme Court changed the rules when the legislature is supposed to change the rules. But let me go back to this. Let me go back to this now. Let me go back to this old 538. No, that's not why it's called 538. And Jake Tapper, of all people, was the first to inform Joy Reid by saying, no, this isn't accurate. The margin in Florida was 537 votes. 538 is the number of electoral college voters. And the SCOTUS didn't reverse the 2000 election. Bush always led on every count. Now, lots of people argue with Jake Tapper about this, which is also kind of funny. And you'll see why in a moment. And then shout out to someone who did the whole thing. So this Stephen Scary Check, whoever this is, says Bush led by a few hundred votes after a machine recount, but the Florida Supreme Court stopped a statewide manual recount from ever happening of the 170,000 disputed ballots, which could have easily led to a Gore victory. It's pretty misleading to say that Bush always led without that. That is factually false. No, Bush did lead, and when that project went and counted those 170,000 disputed ballots, Bush's lead increased, but that's not important. The reason that this is interesting is because Jake Tapper, hang on here, where is it? It's gonna show up here. Oh, what's this book called? Jake Tapper wrote a book about the 2000 election. Jake Tapper wrote an entire book about it. So telling him about what happened in the 2000 election when he's did some thorough research on it, probably not the right person to argue with. But everyone, Joy Reid, our resident jet propulsion engineer, basically kind of embarrassed herself. Anyway, that's why the stream's called 538. I don't necessarily need to dunk on Joy Reid because, oh gosh, it's just too easy anyway. Here's the Mediaite story. NBC's Joy Reid gets fact-checked by CNN's Jake Tapper over ridiculous 538 origin story. This isn't accurate. MSNBC host Joy Reid was fact-checked by CNN's Jake Tapper after she made a false claim about the 2000 presidential election results and the origin of the name 538. On Twitter Monday evening, Reid tweeted, "Here's the thing. The reason there's a thing called 538 is because 538 was the margin in Florida when the Republican SCOTUS reversed the 2000 election during a recount, making W the president. That's the kind of margin where races flip. That's not what's up now," she claimed. Reid's tweet, however, wasn't accurate. On Tuesday, Tapper, one of many people who took to social media to debunk Reid's claims, this is inaccurate. He declared the Florida margin was 537 votes. 538 is the number of the Electoral College voters. Tapper also pointed out that SCOTUS didn't reverse the 2000 election, as Bush always led in every count. So, and then just people were dunking on her left and right. There's Sagar and Ginny, who says, "Holy shit." Jeff, whoever this, Esoteric CD, that's the guy. I know who he is. He's can't remember who he writes for. My God, she still has not deleted. Yeah, she still hasn't deleted it. By the way, good morning, Special K on acid. So happy you're here and coherent. Eric, everybody just ripped on her. Anyway, it was too funny. And I found great joy in laughing at Joy. Yes, pun intended. All right, couple other articles I got going on today. Let me do this one first. I'll give you an update on the election lawsuits, kind of a state-by-state guide that courtesy of the Washington Free Beacon in an article put out this morning. Trump election lawsuits, a state-by-state guide. President Donald Trump is gearing up for post-election lawfare after a host of media outlets called the presidential race for Joe Biden on Saturday. Washington Free Beacon will track Trump's legal efforts state by state and update this story as new information becomes available. Biden leads in critical battleground states like Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and it's not clear how Trump might erase those margins by litigation. An initial wave of lawsuits quickly fizzled last week as vote counters around the country tabulated results Though the campaign may ask for recounts and seek court orders to establish procedures for that process. In Arizona, Donald Trump for president versus Hobbs in the Superior Court for the state of Arizona. In Maricopa County, the Trump campaign sued the Arizona Secretary of State and a handful of local election officials on November 7th, alleging that potentially thousands of votes were wrongly rejected by poll workers who failed to follow proper procedures. Vote machines in Maricopa County will reject votes that include splotches, stray marks, or multiple marks in the same race. The machine will display an alert and eject ballots if it detects such defects. The lawsuit, which includes affidavits from observers and voters, claim that county poll workers overrode those error messages when they showed up on screen instead of instructing voters on how to cast their ballots correctly, thus ensuring those votes wouldn't count. The plaintiff want officials to identify any ballot cast in Maricopa County after an error message appeared. Those ballots should be inspected by canvassing boards and counted, provided they are legitimate, the plaintiffs say. The voter and observer complaints attached to the lawsuit revolve around the use of Sharpies to mark ballots. Viral internet claims assert that ballots filled out by Sharpies can't be counted in Arizona. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich looked into the matter and said he's satisfied those concerns are false. And Biden's ahead by about 15,000 in Arizona. In Georgia, in reinforcement of election laws in the Eastern Judicial Circuit of Georgia. Trump lawyer filed lawsuit in Deep Blue Chatham County on November 4th after Republican election observers raised concerns that a poll worker commingled about 50 tardy mail-in ballots with the illegitimate votes. Mail-in votes were due at 7 p.m. on Election Day in Georgia. The Trump campaign asked a state court judge for an order requiring officials to segregate tardy ballots from all other votes. At an emergency hearing, the top election officials testified that he inspected each of the 50 contested ballots and confirmed they were received on time. The matter was dismissed shortly thereafter. The court finds that there's no evidence that the ballots referenced in the petition were received after 7 p.m. on Election Day, thereby making those ballots invalid. Superior Court Judge James Bass wrote, additionally, there's no evidence that the Chatham County Board of Elections or the Chatham County Board of Registrars has failed to comply with the law. Biden currently leads it by about 12,000 votes in Georgia. Gabriel Sterling, a top elections administrator in the state, vigorously defended Georgia's process in a November 9th press conference. We are going to find people who tried to illegally vote. Is it 10,353? Unlikely, Sterling said. In Michigan, Trump for president versus Benson in the Michigan Court of Claims. The Trump team asked a state court in Michigan on November 4th to stop the tabulation of absentee ballots across the state. In an emergency filing, the campaign alleged that a GOP observer had been kept away from an absentee vote counting site in Oakland County and requested access to surveillance video of so-called ballot drop boxes. They also submitted an affidavit from a Republican attorney who alleged she was told that disqualified ballots were being wrongfully cured by canvassers. Michigan Court of Claims Judge Cynthia Stevens tossed the cases on several reasons, two technical, one substantive. First, she said the suit had come too late since the absentee ballot counting was mostly finished by the time the dispute got to court. Second, she said the campaign was suing the wrong person. Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson is the defendant in the lawsuit, but Stevens said Benson has no power to order the relief the campaign requests. Third, she said the filing lacked sufficient evidence. The campaign did not describe the details surrounding the observer's removal from the canvassing site, nor did it connect the incident to a broader pattern of malfeasance. Stevens also said the allegations regarding vote curing amounted to hearsay and was not admissible. Trump lawyers are appealing the decision. Biden leads Trump by about 150,000 votes in the state. In Nevada, Stoke versus Kagowski in the U.S. District Court for the Nevada District. As in other states, GOP lawyers in Nevada raised procedural concerns about observer access and scrutiny of absentee ballots in Clark County, where about 70% of Nevada voters reside. The lawsuit filed in federal court sought to immediately halt the use of electronic signature verification software in favor of a manual review of mail-in ballots. The GOP plaintiffs said use of that software is not permitted under any state law. They also claimed the Nevada balloting was beset by irregularities, citing a woman who believes another person voted fraudulently in her place, and a Republican observer who was asked to leave the Clark County Canvassing Center on election night. U.S. District Judge Andrew Gordon denied the GOP request during a hearing on November 6. Gordon noted that the dispute over Clark County verification software is being litigated at the Supreme Court of Nevada. Though he seemed to think the software was compatible with Nevada election rules, he said the issue arises under state law and is best resolved in state court. As to the other issues, the Nevada voter who feared fraud seemed to retreat from her claim. In other issues, the Nevada voter who feared fraud seemed to retreat from a claim by declining opportunities to submit an affidavit and cast a provisional ballot. The election officials stressed that GOP observers were on hand continually at the Clark County canvass, even if one was asked to leave. The observer who was removed, Fox News commentator Chris Prudhomme, violated the rules by using a camera in a part of the canvassing center where filming is not permitted, according to state lawyers. Real quick, thank you, Gamer Valine, for the 556, and what the hell? Oh.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Gamer Valine says, but here in Maricopa County, the most populous county, mail-in ballots could be one lines if you made a mistake. You mean the Dem recorder went after the retirees who typically vote Republican? I'm sending the article. Okay, cool. I will check that out. Let's see. The plaintiff, okay, they continued in Nevada. The plaintiffs have not come to the court at this point with sufficient legal showing and sufficient evidentiary basis, Gordon said during Friday's hearing. We've had answers for every allegation that's been brought forward, Clark County Registrar Joseph Gloria said of the Republican complaints at a November 9 press conference. The state Supreme Court asked Nevada Republicans and state officials to file legal papers on the signature matching controversy by November 9th. Further action is forthcoming. Tens of thousands of mail-in votes could be at stake. And then Biden's ahead in Nevada by 35,000 votes. And finally, in Pennsylvania, let's see. Republican Party of Pennsylvania versus Kathy Boockvar in the Supreme Court. In re-canvassing observation in the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, and Donald J. Trump for president versus Kathy Boockvar in the Commonwealth Court of Pennsylvania. So in Pennsylvania, the Trump campaign is litigating a multi-front effort in the Keystone State. First, the campaign is seeking to take over a lawsuit in the U.S. Supreme Court involving the validity of mail-in ballots that arrived after Election Day. The state Supreme Court said any mail-in ballot that arrived on Friday, November 6th should be counted. The Trump campaign and Pennsylvania Republicans say the deadline set by the state legislature, 8 p.m. on Election Day, ought to be the cutoff. Did the legislators change the law? Did the court? Over the weekend, an order from the High Court provided that ballots arriving after Election Day should be kept separate from all other votes as they are the subject of an ongoing litigation. The next step in the case is for the justices to decide whether the Trump campaign will serve as lead plaintiff. It's possible that the court will never resolve the lawsuit, as late-arriving mail-in votes may not be decisive to the outcome in Pennsylvania, where Biden currently leads by almost 50,000 votes. Second, the campaign fought first in state and then in federal court over the rules for observers in the Philadelphia Canvassing Center. Events in Philadelphia have been at the center of conservative election fraud anxiety, as hundreds of thousands of mail-in ballots from southeastern Pennsylvania flipped the state into the Biden column after Trump prevailed among Election Day voters. Contrary to the president's claims and the statement of his surrogates, Republican observers have been present continuously at the Philadelphia site. Campaign lawyers say, however, that the configuration of the room and social distancing rules are preventing their vote watchers from carefully monitoring the process. Pennsylvania Appeals Court sided with Trump on November 5th, saying election law requires vote counters to give Trump watchers some observational leeway to ascertain sufficient details of the canvassing process. The campaign made a detour to a federal judge several hours later, claiming Philadelphia officials were not complying with the order. During an emergency hearing before the U.S. District Court, Judge Paul Diamond, Trump's lawyer, admitted that Republican observers have been on hand in the canvassing center since the process began. Diamond dismissed the matter after the Trump campaign and city officials agreed both parties could have 60 observers present. Back at state court, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court announced Monday afternoon that it will wade into the controversy and decide what degree of access observers must have under state election law. court officials are setting up an accelerated briefing schedule so the case can be decided quickly. And third, the campaign sued Pennsylvania Secretary of State Kathy Boockvar after she gave voters until November 12th to confirm their identities if mail-in ballots were returned without proper proof of identification. The original deadline was November 9th. The judge said she would rule on Boockvar's move later. For now, any voter who returns ID information between November 10th and November 12th will have their votes set aside. And then the Pennsylvania Republicans are litigating several other controversies, with which the president's campaign is not involved. So there's your legal update. Good morning, fight for your rights. How you doing? Anyone else show up that I need to say hi to? I think I'm caught up there. So that's the boring legal stuff. Fascinating, right? Oh, so let's see here. Oh, I had a whole section on this thing with James O'Keefe. Wait, I might go back to that at the end. Now, here's an interesting thing. So, as I was flipping through Twitter today, also, I noticed that there. Oh, I got a message here. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me check out Gamer Valine's thing real quick here. Give me 1 second. Oh no. What? Okay, this is from the Arizona Daily. Here's an update from Arizona. Interesting. A paper shortage. Oh, they used the paper too much for toilet paper. Anyway, paper shortage allows Maricopa County recorder fonts to violate election laws. On Friday, a Superior Court judge found that an advocacy organization would likely prevail in its case against Maricopa County Recorder Adrian Fonts because the Secretary of State's Elections Procedure Manual does not allow the recorder's office to instruct voters to cross out votes made in error. However, Judge James Smith accepted Fonts' argument that even though the instructions are illegal, it would cost too much to print new instructions at this point. Alexander Koledin, attorney for the advocacy organization, vowed to appeal the ruling. Koledin's clients had hoped to bar Fonts from instructing voters in the general election that they can cross out erroneous votes and pick someone else. Despite the fact that the election procedures manual, which the judge described as having the force of law and requires instructing voters to request new ballots, Fonts included the instruction with early ballots at last month's primary election. The judge noted that it is the responsibility of the Board of Supervisors to approve language used in instructions, and he wrote, quote, the law requires county boards of supervisors prepare voter instructions that follow the EPM, AR, bunch of numbers and stuff. And the EPM does not allow new instructions. Just the opposite. The EPM commands Board of Supervisors to tell voters to ask for another ballot if they overvote. Plaintiffs are likely to succeed on the merits of whether the county defendants may include the new instructions. So that's interesting. I'm not sure how. God. Let's see. County defense argued that it would cost at least $125,000 to print new instruction sheets. County's vendors told Mr. Valenzuela that it is too late for the vendor to order and obtain sufficient paper to print new early ballot instructions to meet the various mailing deadlines. Okay. Citing a paper shortage. Oh, good Lord. Well, just more fuckery. All right. Let's see. What was I getting to here next? Oh, now let's see if let me see if I hope I bookmarked this tweet about the House races. Did I not? Apparently I didn't. Oh, wait a minute. I know what I did. Hang on a second here. Give me 1 second. Sometimes I feel like I need a producer. Let's go here. So I found something fascinating. Oh, here it is. So Dave Wasserman, I won't say he's a hack. He's just a leftist type of guy. Tweeted this today or early this morning. Maybe it was last night. It was 12 hours ago. Okay. It's been a terrible day for Democrats in uncalled House races. So we already knew that the Republicans had flipped 9 seats for a net gain of 6 members of the U.S. House of Representatives. Well, here's 5 more seats that they may have flipped. Now, there's no chance at this point for them to take the House because the Democrats already have the 218 for a majority. But here's 5 races in which they're not doing so well. California 21, Velado still ahead by 4,026 votes. California 25, Garcia takes the lead by 159 votes. And California 39, Kim is up to 4,160 votes. Iowa 2, Miller Meeks now ahead by 40 votes. And Burgess Owens, the former football player who you might have seen in congressional testimony, in Utah 4 is leading by about 1,700 votes. Now, it's fascinating because now, as I read this, it's a terrible day for Democrats in uncalled House races. Look, guys, I've seen enough. Young Kim is well on her way to defeating freshman Representative Gil Gisneros in California 39 in an upset. Democrats lose in Orange County District. Clinton carried by 51-41. Now remember, this is California. No, this is California. These 3 seats that he's first talked about, and my whole thing is, they're gonna Franken these guys. I'm just telling you, they're gonna. It's never too late in California to Franken people. And if you don't know what Frankening is, that's the new verb that I'm using. What it means is that in an election where your candidate that you want to win is barely losing by a small amount, you miraculously find an entire cache of votes somewhere, preferably in the trunk of someone's car, that, oh, we missed these votes. Let's count these too, and then we'll win by a comfortable margin, kind of like what's happening in the United States right now. And I call it Election 2020, the Frankening of America. To Franken is a verb. And especially when it's only a few thousand votes or less, it's not too late to Franken all 5 of these Republican candidates, and especially California, where they do that little thing called ballot harvesting. So who knows how that's going to work out in California, but that's, looks good for the Republicans in these 5 races, and we'll see. Then someone here, Kim R. just turned an unreal performance in the Los Angeles County portion of California 39, Roland Heights, Diamond Bar, where my sister lives, Walnut, zooming ahead of both Trump's 16 share and her own 18 share. I'm pretty curious what happened there. I know what happened there. Your governor happened there. That's what I think happened. Either that or maybe the Republicans learned how to vote harvest a little bit. Maybe, you think? Anyway, I laughed though. I did get a chuckle because there's some people a little salty about this. This guy, we can still win. Count all the votes. And if we still haven't won, count them again. Yes, just keep counting them till you win. Isn't that what Democrats already do? You just keep counting them until you win. This one here, we got swept out of state legislatures in a redistricting term. They're going to gerrymander us into outer space for a decade. Yeah, I don't know what state you live in here, Georgette, but that's not the one I wanted to see. Where will Dens end up when it's all said and done? They'll still control the House because they already have their 218 to do that. No, but even if the Dems end up with around 225 seats, which is towards the high end of where things are trending, it will be the second tightest majority since the 1950s, the tightest being the GOP majority in 1999 to 2003. Somebody down here, though, made an interesting point, and I can't find it, but I'll do it from memory. They were saying, when the House majority is this tight, they're thinking that the squad could sabotage the what I want to call it, the corporate Democrats on some legislation. If they decide that they don't like something's happened, they could vote as a block with the Republicans to sabotage legislation. I thought, oh, that's an interesting thought. Where because now there's like I think there's like 7 or 8 now of these ultra progressive, super leftist, whatever Democrats, the justice Democrats. They're for justice. There's a whole bunch of them now, and so when you have a slim majority like they have in the House, they could, especially if they say they're going to vote for their Speaker of the House, and it could be Nancy Pelosi, and the squad's not a real big fan of Nancy Pelosi, and Nancy Pelosi isn't a really big fan of the squad. They have a little power to sabotage some votes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Good morning, Midnight in Exile. Also, hello, Mr. No, Adam Richard. Adam, you already here. Jimmy from Philly, what's up? Who's wiped, of course. All right, Jimmy from Philly wiped. I don't know why I'm pausing. Anyway, all right, what time we got? Okay, I'm doing pretty good for time. So anyway, I just thought that was fascinating, though, that, the Republicans are doing so well in so many of these races. Again, it's not too late to franken these 5 races, but, let's just keep it hopeful. But that's good things, and maybe there is a way to slow the spread, so to speak. Speaking of, here, let me find this here. What else do I have bookmarked? I bookmarked a whole bunch of stuff. If it's usually thing, I guess that's a word. I had an American education, not UK. I never got to read or study this literature. Excuse? No reason. Yeah, high school drove my love of English for me. What I'm trying to figure out what we're talking about there. If recounts end up in Trump's favor, the people swearing election fraud is impossible, but we'll start shouting election fraud. Isn't that the truth? Midnight in Exile. I'm going to say that. I don't know if anyone read that in the chat. Midnight in Exile says, if recounts end up in Trump's favor, the people swearing election fraud is impossible will start shouting election fraud. They've been shouting that elections can't be tainted except for 2016 when the Russians, tainted the election. And in fact, on that note, here's one for you. This maybe you haven't seen this one here. This is a perfect segue into this article from the Daily Wire. Whoopi Goldberg. Remember her from The View? Whoopi Goldberg to the GOP. Suck it up and accept election results like we sucked it up in 2016. What? Your
life makes me sad.
What are you talking about?
Why the fuck you lying?
How the hell did you suck it up in 2016, Whoopi Goldberg? You won't even say Donald Trump's name. You've refused to say his name. Oh my God. Let's just peek at this bit of nonsense. I hope they have video with this. Oh my God, they do. Here, I want to hear her say it. Here, hang on. Why is there no sound? Hey, the hell? There's no sound. Oh, this is, you know what is weird? For some reason, a lot of times the Daily Wire's embedded videos will not play the sound. And that's very irritating. And why won't this, hang on a second. Let me, let's watch it on Twitter. That's been happening a lot lately. And I think Twitter's fucking with some of these sites. They will not allow their embedded video to play sound. And it only happens on certain sites. And it's always the same ones for some reason. Here it is. Here's Whoopi Goldberg. Let's have a listen to this complete and utter nonsense. Hang on a second. Let me start this one over. Put it over here. Now let's listen to this nonsense.
Now, I want to bring something up right now. I want to say to all those people who don't believe that Americans
wait. Let me remind you something. This is very important. A very important preface to this video. I'm just going to remind you that Whoopi Goldberg is a comedian.
Got out and voted. Let me say this to you. When you know who was elected 4 years ago.
Wait a minute. You know who? Who's you know who, Whoopi? What's his name, Whoopi? What's his name, Whoopi? Say his name. Come on, girl. You know you want to say his name. You know you do. Say his name, Whoopi. Yeah, you can say it. He's your president, Whoopi. Say his name. Say the damn man's name, woman. Say his name.
Oh, you know, Hillary Clinton didn't say, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right, stop the count. She didn't say, this isn't right, I'm not going for it. She didn't say any of that.
What? Hillary Clinton, what? Hillary Clinton, what? Shall we continue?
So all of you, suck it up. Suck it up like we sucked it up.
Like you sucked it up? The only thing you sucked up was Ted Danson, woman. You know damn well all you've been complaining, oh, the Russians this and the Russians that, and it was unfair, and Hillary should be president, and you took it from her. I'm with her, and Hillary Clinton had a speech every week talking about why she lost it. It was all, it was illegitimate, and you call him the illegitimate president. What the hell are you talking about? Suck it up. 4 years, well, 4.5 years, from the day he was elected and from the day he was in office, y'all have done nothing but call him an illegitimate president. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, this hurts my head.
And if you are not sure that you're comfortable with Joe Biden, do what we did.
What did you do? You didn't say his name for 4 years. Ho? I shouldn't call her ho. I actually like Whoopi Goldberg as a comedian and an actress, but damn, you're stupid. Thank you, Jedi Ghost Bear, through Super Chat, who says, yeah, we sucked it up. We didn't kill all of you. Yeah, who sucked it up? How many damn times? What the hell was the Women's March, Whoopi? What was the protest the day after the inauguration, Whoopi? What were all the protests every few months in Washington, Whoopi? What was Joy Behar talking about how bad we want him out of office, Whoopi? You didn't suck it up. You mucked it up. Oh my God. Oh, and I don't know how anyone here. Where the hell is what's her face? What's McCain's daughter's name? Megan. Where is she today? Look at these faces. They're all acting all serious like they sucked up. You think Joy Behar sucked it up? Do you think Sonny Costin sucked it up? Anna, what the hell is this? Anna, what the hell's her name? Anna down here on the bottom. I'm so mad I can't even remember her damn name. Name a woman in that picture right now. Hang on. Let me get you here. Let's get all the way in here. Name a woman in that picture who sucked it up and accepted it. I need a shit sound effect. Here.
Gotcha, bitch.
Who are you kidding?
You're a lying dog faced pony soldier.
I mean, you are full of it.
Lies, yeah. Why the fuck you lying?
Navarro, yeah, Anna Navarro. Yeah, Anna Navarro sucked it up. Rachel Maddow sucked it up. Don Lemon sucked it up. Oh, he kind of did, but that's a whole different story. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Come on, man.
Find things and then take it to the law. And if the law says it's something to look at it.
That's what they're doing. What the hell do you think they're doing? Good Lord. Hello, Hard Disk Fail. Nice to see you. And Renee Mayette. Hi. Did I miss you there? And AWOL's here. Nice to see you. Oh, my God. FTB, FTG, FT. Oh, my goodness.
Now on, suck it up.
Suck it up.
Grow the
really?
pear.
Grow the pear?
For him that he can't grow for himself.
Oh, oh, really? Oh, that's sucking it up. We'll just line this with an insult to him, the guy, I can't even say his name. Your president, Donald John Trump, either for the next couple months or maybe for the next 4 years, more likely. And honestly, I'm honest here. I don't feel like this whole thing is going to work, and we're going to have President Joe Biden. Not that's my choice or my desire whatsoever, but that's what I believe. I don't think any of this is going to make any difference with the lawsuits or anything. That's just me being realistic, even though I am optimistic that it could go the way that I want it to. But I don't, you know what? I'm already sucking it up. Good Lord.
This is ridiculous. You're not sure that he won. You bringing into question.
Whoa!
All these Americans who voted legally came out and stood and voted. How dare you question?
Oh, all these people who came out and voted and stood and voted and came out. Yes, 71 million of them were for Trump. So, more people voted for Trump than Barack Obama. So, you know what? If he didn't fight for what he thought was right, to party, I would lose a little respect for him. Now, if he loses the fight and it's determined that Joe Biden is the next president, and then he doesn't do the things to make the transition smooth, then I'm going to criticize Donald Trump. Okay? Right now, I'm not going to criticize Donald Trump. Okay? There are irregularities. Sorry, there are. And is it enough to make Donald Trump a second term? Personally, I don't think that's going to happen. I would like for it to happen. I would like for it to be some actual evidence and legal way for them to do that. And there are certainly there are statistical anomalies that cannot be explained right now. That absolutely cannot be explained. When you get 128,000 votes that pop up all of a sudden, all for one candidate, that's a statistical anomaly that cannot be explained. When 27,000 votes all of a sudden show up and every single one is for one candidate, that is a statistical anomaly that cannot be explained. Now, is it enough to overturn election results? I do not know. But it's not. Oh, now we can't even question whether Joe Biden won? We can't question it at all? Midnight says, oh, they can be explained. Well, yes, they can be explained. I'm telling you, election 2020. The Frankening of America. That's how I explain it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, on the Frankening of America, I live in the state of Minnesota. And back when Al Franken was running against, I think it was Tim Pawlenty for the United States Senate in the great state of Minnesota, Tim Pawlenty was winning the election for the United States Senate. And as they were counting ballots, and then all of a sudden, there was this vehicle. A vehicle known as an automobile that it was an old-fashioned automobile because it had a trunk and not just a hatch into the back of an SUV. It actually had a trunk. And somehow, some way in this vehicle, there was a cache of ballots. And when I say a cache, I mean a supply, I mean a trunk full and everything like it. It was a trunk full of ballots. that somehow did not make it to the place where they count the ballots. Now, just out of the blue, this trunk full of ballots was found. And when they found this trunk full of ballots, they said, hey, we found a trunk full of ballots. Let's count them and add up to the totals in this. And it just happened to be ballots in the Senate race for between Al Franken and Tim Pawlenty. I think it was Tim Pawlenty. I'm pretty sure it was. No, was it Norm Coleman? No, it was Norm Coleman. It wasn't Tim Pawlenty. It was Norm Coleman, who was also a senator in Minnesota at one time. And when they counted the trunk full of ballots that they found at the car trunk full of ballots and brought them into the Kansas City and decided to count all the trunk full of ballots, and by the miracle of statistical analysis and counting, 90-some% of the ballots were in favor of Al Franken. And it was just enough to get Al Franken over the top and become the United States Senator from the great state of Minnesota. Now, we know how that all turned out in the end, and now he's no longer the United States Senator from the state of Minnesota, but that detailed act I have officially deemed as a verb called to franken or frankening. And it seems to me, as I watch the election returns of the 2020 presidential election, that election 2020, in fact, it's going to be the title of a book. I got to find someone to write it, but I got the copyright thing in fact, I think I put it in the description of the stream today. The book is going to be called Election 2020, The Frankening of America. What do you think? Good? Yeah? In fact, I'm going to tweet that out here pretty soon because I just think I want to be the first to use that term. It's the Frankening of America. So anyway, and so anyway, the statistical anomalies, which Midnight Exile so rightfully says, yeah, we know how those happen, may actually cause this election to be the way it is. I'm going to say now, it's funny. I was going to read this article. I don't know if I need to. I think my rant suffices. Anyone? Whoopi Goldberg, what if it's okay? She just tell them what they said. Is there anything new here? While former Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton did concede immediately after the election, and Trump has not yet done so due to ballots still being counted in several states and various legal challenges that have been filed by his campaign, not every Democrat sucked it up and accepted that Trump was a legitimate president. In fact, one of the hosts on this panel, you can't see my cursor because I hid my cursor again. The one in the lower right, Anna Navarro, I don't think she's ever accepted it. She still says Russians, Russian help, Russian. And it's so funny how in 2016 and up until this election started, you couldn't, the Russians interfered, the Russians altered our election, the Russians, cheated for Donald Trump, but now election cannot be, you can't cheat an election. There's no way you could cheat an election. There's no way that the mail-in ballots, which, come in the name of dead people.
I see dead people.
No, all those. In fact, it's Veterans Day. There are people who fought. What? Not 1812. What's maybe is the Mexican American War or something like that. There was a veteran of some war from the mid 1800s that voted in this election. Now, did their vote get counted? Who knows? They have Fleckis. Oh, Fleckis. I should go back to Fleckis too, because there's some fact checkers talking about the 14,000 votes that they said were dead people in Michigan. And so they're saying, oh, they looked at about 50 of them, and, most of them weren't this and weren't that. And so Fleckus did another video saying, oh, wait a minute, you morons. That wasn't my list. I have a cross-reference list of 10,000 people, and it's anyway. I was gonna watch that, but we're not going to. The Battle of Guadalupe, Dog. I don't know. Check your logic. I don't know, but I appreciate you checking up on me. Checking up. I'm getting fact-checked in my own chat. But I appreciate. Actually, you know what? Here's, by the way, people. When I make errors, I expect you to fact check me in my chat. So that is a feature, not a bug. I'm fine with being fact checked. In fact, I appreciate when people try to do that kind of stuff. All right, let's oh good Lord, where am I? Do I have anything else here? I have all kinds of things, but let's get off of this topic for a second and see if there's yeah, let's talk about, let's do some pop culture. I guess Katy Perry, everyone knows Katy Perry, right? The singer. I don't know, does she write her own songs? I don't know. She writes most of them, I guess. Well, Katy Perry's in hot water. Did you know that? That Katy Perry is in the hot seat. God damn. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just, I looked at this picture. I'm like, good God, girl. Pop icon Katy Perry is getting hit by leftists for daring to encourage harmony with Trump supporters. Oh, it is another political article. What happened here? Okay, in a tweet on Sunday, one day after the media declared Biden the winner in the 2020 election, Katy Perry said that she called her Trump-supporting family members to say that she loves them. Oh, that's so sweet. I wish I don't have an aw. I need an aw. Like when you're happy. Well, the first thing so she said, here's her tweet. The first thing I did when the presidency was called is text and call my family members who do not agree. And I tell them I love them and I am here for them. Family first. Call your family today. Happy Sunday. Now that is so sweet. I am very impressed with what Katy Perry did there. That is such a sweet little thing. I mean, it's so, how can you disagree with that? Oh, wait a minute. Leftists were fast and swift in their condemnation of Katy Perry, asserting that Trump supporters deserved no love or empathy. I'm not going to do that because those people voted against my basic human rights. But thanks so much for the tip, Katy. Tweeted one user. I can't call my family because they voted against me and my right to love the person I do. So it's not family first, unfortunately. And this tweet is a bit insensitive to those who have a similar situation. Damn. Now wait a minute. My right to love the person I do. Wait a minute. Contrary to the idea that someone tweeted this out yesterday that it was so nice to finally have a president who believes in marriage equality in the White House. This is the first ever. And, wait a minute. That was Donald Trump. Donald Trump supported gay marriage back in 2004. Even before Obama or Biden ever got into it. In fact, Obama kind of just got backdoored into it. It's probably a weird choice of words there. But, when the Supreme Court, then he kind of just said, oh yeah, I support marriage equality. He didn't, when he went into the presidency in 2008, he was still defending DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act. Oh goodness. And he didn't think that gay marriage was, thing. He was like, yeah, maybe civil unions, but not gay marriage, because it's between a man or I think it's between a man and a woman. But then he changed his mind. But Donald Trump, as early as 2004, was supporting gay marriage. Not that I don't give a shit. I don't think the government should be involved in marriage anyway. State, union, whatever. I don't care. Anyway, and then someone else said, the ignorance of this. If they voted red, it's a vote against them. Because what the other party represents. Some people's lives are on the line or on the online. That's a typo. And face being kicked out. The privilege you have to not face much and stuff. You always never realize what you say. It's privileged. Someone else says, it's probably very easy to do that when you're not part of the many minority groups that those people would be perfectly okay with dying. But so brave and enlightening, Katie. What the Stop using my demographic to make your stupid ass points. Anyway, she got ripped to shreds. Let's just put it that way. For such a nice, you know what? I have a little more respect for Katy Perry. I think she was from Louisiana. Apparently her parents and a lot of her family are avid Trump supporters. And you know what? Props to Katy Perry. I'm just saying. Props to Katy Perry for that, because, you know, she shouldn't get dragged in the mud just for some dumbasses who can't. What's the word? What was the word Whoopi Goldberg said? Suck it up. All right, can I finish with something? Let's see. What am I going to finish it up with? Let's do this. You know, I was going to do a Veterans Day thing to finish up, and I forgot to open that one up. Hang on a second here. Oh, here we go. Oh, by the way, just thought. Now, I've kind of gone back and forth, bitching about Jake Tapper because he's been an asshole lately. But one thing that I do appreciate that Jake Tapper does and is very good at on his Twitter feed, he honors veterans of the U.S. military, whether they are veterans who are alive or veterans who have made the great sacrifice. And I do have to absolutely give Jake Tapper props for that. He's been doing that ongoing, probably as long as I've been on Twitter. And so I do have some respect to him, for that. Let's see if there's where's my Veterans Day post? Oh, by the way, okay, I'm going to end with this because this is kind of terrible. And I hate to do something funny, something bad, but while I have a minute, CNN, you remember how I was talking about, I was telling you about how people were asking about making lists of people, making lists to shame. Well, CNN airs the first list. They aired a list of senators who haven't congratulated Biden as election legal battles continue. Fat Joe, what's up? How you doing? I'm not against gay marriage, but no one has the right to get married. States should stay out of marriages. If a church wants to hold ceremony, that is a choice of the church in question, not the state. I agree with you 100%. I don't know that the state needs to be in marriage at all. Because that gets to a point where you start telling religious bodies who they have to marry, and you know what? That's gets the Constitution there, right? But frankly, I don't care if a gay couple wants to say that they're married, and they are. I have gay couple friends who are married to each other, and I don't care. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. But I don't necessarily, I still have some cognitive dissonance as far as that goes. But am I going to complain, or do I care what they do in their life? If they're happy, I don't give a shit. But for me, my marriage is sanctified the way it is, where it is, and what it is, and I don't need the state telling me whether or not that's okay or not. I don't know if I said that correctly, but I hope I did. Anyway, all right, let's finish up with this. CNN airs a list of senators who haven't congratulated Biden. They're shaming senators for not congratulating President-elect, or so to speak, by the media, Biden. Until, you know what? In fact, is it December 12th or December 14th? I can't remember the date, but until that date comes and goes, We do not have a president-elect until the votes are certified and entered. And then we'll have a president-elect. But until then, it's the media who's decided who the president is right now. Now, granted, it's not, and I'm not even saying that it's wrong they project a winner, but it's not official until December 12th. So there's some legal battles going on. There's little things happening. And so F right off. CNN has put together a list of GOP senators who've not called Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden and congratulated him on presumably winning the presidential election. While major media outlets have called the race for former Vice President Biden, President Trump has not yet conceded defeat as his campaign continues to file lawsuits over alleged instances of voter fraud that may or may not have impacted election results. CNN aired a list of GOP senators who haven't congratulated Biden on Thursday, along with the chyron, Trump defiance fueled by enablers like Barr, McConnell, and Fox. Referring to Attorney General William Barr, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and Fox News, the list at CNN has begun. I hope there's no Bernie Sanders supporters watching CNN right now. Trump continued to fight the legal battles in the battleground states such as Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Nevada, alleging foul play during ballot counting and voter fraud benefiting Biden. Despite the court fight, major media outlets called the race for Biden over the weekend, most after declaring that the Democratic candidate had won the state of Pennsylvania. CNN's list presumably meant to shame GOP senators or imply that they are somehow subverting the election comes as prominent anti-Trump voices have called for listing allies of the president and so-called Trump sycophants to name and shame them forever. Hello, Ebony. Hello, Richo. We should keep and publish a list of everyone who assists Trump's frivolous and dangerous attacks on the election, name and shame forever. Evan McMullen, who ran a failed campaign for president in 2016, tweeted on November 5th, is anyone archiving these Trump sycophants for when they try to downplay or deny their complicity in the future? I foresee a decent probability of many deleted tweets, writings, photos in the future. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted the next day. Trump administration officials have continued to conduct business as usual with making room for a potential incoming Biden administration as the election lawsuits play out in court. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo appeared confident at a press conference on Tuesday that Trump would eventually win the legal battles and return to the presidency for a second term. Okay, this is bullshit too. Okay, if you listen to that press conference, Mike Pompeo was talking tongue-in-cheek when he said this. But anyway, here it is. Here's the report. Question was, is the State Department currently preparing to engage with the Biden transition team? A reporter asked Tuesday. And if not, at what point does delay hamper a smooth transition or pose a risk to national security? And he answers, we're ready. He said, the world is watching what's taking place. We're going to count all the votes, and when the process is complete, there will be electors selected. There's a process, the secretary reiterated. The Constitution lays it out pretty clearly. The world should have every confidence that the transition necessary to make sure that the State Department is functional today, successful today, and successful with a president who's in office on January 20th. Okay, they didn't put the tongue-in-cheek answer he gave. He gave the tongue-in-cheek answer is that, yes, we'll be ready to transition to our second term. And then he gave the real answer, but all the most of the anti-Trump, Trump derangement media only quoted the tongue-in-cheek answer he gave, but then he immediately followed that up with this statement. There will be that's he said there will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration, right? Anyway, and then he followed up with we're ready, and whoever's in office on January 20th, they will have it will be ready. Anyway, all right. I got to call it a day, guys. But hey, before you even think about clicking away, click the like button. I got a whole bunch of people's here, but not as many likes. So before you even think about leaving, hit the like before you go. And as you know, I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Pacific AM. I know it's early for you West Coasters. But anyway, did you cover the Andrew McCabe thing yesterday? No, I did not. Hard disk fail. And I don't know if I'm going to get to it. Maybe. I've thought about doing a video. I'm kind of pressed for time this week to make videos either. Who knows? But yeah, that was ridiculous. And I'm sure there's a handful of people covering it on the internet, so we'll see. Anyway, I gotta go. Y'all, thanks for being here. If you haven't done so, share the stream, hit the like button. And then if you want to make donations, you can do that through YouTube Super Chat or through Streamlabs in the description down below, or Venmo or Cashapp. I appreciate all of those people who do that, especially today's people who donated. This is Kyle, Rod Line, Furry Kitten, Gamer Valine, Jedi Ghost Bear. Greatly appreciate the financial support, as well as just you coming and watching and hanging out in the chat, or if you're watching on while you're driving in the background or at work, or if you're watching a replay, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. But I do greatly appreciate y'all. It's time for me to go, though. My name is PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.